I think if Prince Harry's holding out for an apology, he's going to have an incredibly long wait. And at the end of his interview with Tom Bradbury the week that his book came out, he said that the ball was now in the court of his father, Charles, and his brother, William. And I think everyone took a bit of a deep inhalation of disbelief there. So you've written a book, you've exposed the secrets that the family's code, number one code is that you don't break rank. And you certainly don't go off and sign lucrative deals in America to fund your lifestyle. And yet, if we believe this to be the case, Harry still wants an apology. I mean, it's like having a temper tantrum as a kid, pulling off the curtains, kicking the furniture over, smashing glasses, and then going up to Mummy and saying, Mummy, I want you to tell me you're sorry. It's sadly mistaken, I think.
Duncan, is the appetite, the demand for this apology motivated by the apology that the palace made in relation to Lady Susan Hussey, who was perceived to have spoken inappropriately in the context of a British woman of African heritage, Hussey asking where she really came from? The palace apologised. Is that what has stoked this anger over in Cupertino, California?
I think it's hard to tell. I mean, I've covered Harry since he was a teenager, and frankly, I think what we've seen from him with the book and in the last couple of months, really, it's almost as though we're watching someone who's 75% through some really expensive therapy. And, of course, anyone who's been anywhere near therapy for mental health or other issues, addiction, etc., will know that the moment that you've actually crossed that bridge and got into a position of recovery is when you are actually going out and giving those apologies to the people that you've held resentments towards. It's basic stuff. Harry has set himself up as a very well-paid guru of mental health, and yet I see no evidence that he's ready or in a position to actually sit down and have a sensible conversation with his brother and his father.
You are his biographer, and you were the royal editor of The Sun, which is one of the biggest royal jobs in the country. How long would you say have you known Prince Harry?
I got to know Harry. I was privileged enough to get to know Harry in the days when he had finished at Eton and he was waiting to join the military at Sandhurst. It was a privilege for me, but of course in that period he punched a photographer, he wore a Nazi outfit, a story that I wrote. And he got in all sorts of different scrapes around the world, which in his book he goes back to and almost brushes them off as sort of the... I don't know. I mean, he really hasn't... His book really could have been a whole list of apologies himself for the behaviour that he's displayed and the times that his own family that he criticised so viciously actually stuck up and put their necks on the line for him, because that happened.